in addition to being a student, as we mentioned before, you've also become one of the greatest teachers in your family. Part of being a teacher, it allows you to travel all over the world to look at different competitions, judge different competitions. Can you give us some of your experience over the years?
The first time I traveled with my Sifu, because when the Sifu travel, always one of us go to buffer the outside world to handle things. In other words, it's your job. So, what does that mean? Well, it means in real world, it takes a lot of time and a lot of money to learn Kung Fu. Which stops most people's life or runs most people's life, time and money. I always knew I was bigger than those two things, so I never allowed time and money to interfere with my relationship. The first time I traveled with my Sifu was 1986, Hong Kong and China. I spent 5 weeks with him, just me and him. 1986, Hong Kong was very exciting for me. Of course, the very first thing we have to do when we go there is pay the respect to the patriarch Yanma. But in those days, their cemetery, not developed like ours, have a certain section, No, the graves built over top of each other. So you have to climb. And in those days, now there's a path to go to the patriarch's grave site. In those days, no path. You actually have to climb. And he's at the top of the mountain. So it was a while since Sifu was there, so we can't find it. Funny thing, he have a little pain, I have a little pain, So the first day he climbed and I'm behind him. Of course, it makes no sense I climbed too because he didn't see it. So, funny thing. We get lost. But there was a little hut. And Sifu stopped to ask the woman for some direction. And she pointed. But when she pointed, I noticed she had Rolex. Because I'm a young guy, I like these things, and then, but I'm with my teacher, and of course, I don't say, Sifu, what we're gonna do today? No. Just like when you was with your parents. Wherever your parent goes, that's where you go. Kids today want to know all this now. Wherever they go, that's it. And in Hong Kong, so many stores and shops, my eyes see all this, but I can't take my eye off my Sifu. And he's walked there with the fan pretty quick. So I have no time for this. So he chuckled when I said, Sifu, she live in here, a little shack, but have Rolex. He said, yeah. Because Hong Kong people, he said, transitory. And sometimes they have to go. And this you could exchange for the money. See? Plus, this is a different idea of what we call luxury. You see in America, luxury watch like long jeans. Because America luxury, you're not supposed to get the hands wet. You don't have to do the dishes. See? Rolex, of course, could put in the water. See? Two different ideas. Of course, he tell me all this. I don't realize he teaching me Kung Fu. About understanding the environment, the condition. the terrain. So his everyday life, he shared kung fu, but it's everyday life, not something 100 years ago. Of course, the next day we go back, he climbed, and then I hear him say, Sifu! Then I know we found the gravesite. You may have seen pictures of the patriarch's gravesite because it's a big platform, have a wall, have the picture of the patriarch there. And so we bring some of the patriarch's favorite food, chashu bao. He liked the bun. And a few fruit there. Of course, we pay respect. And it was so quiet there. A little misty because we up on high. I have opportunity to play my kung fu there. Of course, after we finish, Sifu said, we're hungry, we eat the bun, you know. So, funny because after we pay the respect, I don't have a back pain, he don't have a back pain, you know. So that was the beginning of my ventures of 5 weeks there.
Wow.
After that, we traveled to China with his good friend and kung fu brother, Yip Ching. So Yip Ching and Sifu were really good brothers, not just kung fu brothers, because Yip Ching was his best man in the wedding. So they are really close. So myself, Sipak Yip Ching, and my Sifu, we traveled to Fat San, to all areas where his father taught Wing Tsun. That's why I said he never have a school, but he might teach here, he teach. So I videoed this and 5 weeks there. So after maybe 3 weeks, because we live in a place called New Territory, Fanling. It's very close to the border of China, because Hong Kong and Kowloon, Hong Kong is a little island, but Kowloon is the business district, you know. But it's quite a ride to the New Territory. So every morning, we out there in the morning, don't come back till 2, 3 in the morning. Every day like this. So many experiences in China. Number one, in those days, to me, 1986 China looked like 1950s. Fat San, a lot of dirt roads, all black bicycles. But we visit the apocryphy where Grandmaster taught, who was the patriarch Sifu. We visit a lot of the places, Macau. Of course, we visit the ancestral temple, the patriarch's home, 1986. The next time I went back was into Fat San, was at the Yip Man Tong opening. 2,000 Wing Tsun people converged on Fat San.
Wow.
At that time, only one light in Fat San, but a lot of scooters. In 06, I think I went back. Fat San is a bustling municipality. Audis, Volkswagens, is huge. But so I saw it when it was still like 1950s. So that was the first time I traveled to Hong Kong, China. In those days, China very strict. So you go to the border, you go to China. Let's say you go to a good hotel, what we will call 5-star. Every floor have a desk there, and if you have guests, you have to leave your door open. Very strict. See, you can bring girls, that kind of thing, you know. If you go deeper into China, you have more freedom. So we travel to Seven Star Mountain, deep into China. Look like the paintings, you know. It's beautiful. There's more freedom.
What was the weather like when you were traveling in China back in the day?
Hot. In fact, Hong Kong's so hot. I mean hot. Because I don't carry a jacket. It's so hot. But one of seafood, everyone wanted to meet seafood, so 5 times a day we in a restaurant.
Oh.
And the restaurants in Hong Kong like a freezer.
Huh.
So you're from the hot to the freezer. So my experience is I'm in the restaurant 5 times a day because so many people want to meet the seafood. Of course, I don't know what they're saying, but my job is take care of the table. And at night, always have a big dinner because everyone want to go out, have a dinner with him. But after a couple weeks, you see, after the dinner, seafood's nature, when the check come out, the check, soon as the check, seafood grab the check. Of course, they invite him to dinner. He grabbed the check. See, he paid for the meal. So I see the check. I always put the money back in the seafood's pocket. So after a couple of weeks, I had seafood. Could you do me a favor? He said, what's that, son? Could you not be so quick to grab the check? He laughed a little bit, see? Killing me, you know. So that good, fun, good experience, you know.
Now, the first time you went with your Grandmaster and you walked around, did you ever run into anybody who didn't like him? That may have been jealous of him, of his, you know, I guess his stature or his stardom, so to speak?
No, but I did notice something that still exists today. But for their generation, I didn't understand why. Because they're the last of the generation from the patriarch Yima. They still vying for face or position. So, the first Kung Fu guy we meet was Sipak Wang Shenglong. And of course everyone know he was famous for fighting, teach Bruce Lee. Because we go to a restaurant where the patriarch always go. So Sifu said, all Wenchang guys always hang out here. He looked like a Western kind of booth and had spittoons,
Oh, gosh.
you know, and that's where Sifu always, your monk always have yam cha. So we go there to reminisce. And who's in the other booth? Sipak Wan Shalong and his wife. And I see him first because Sifu facing me. Then I see Sipak. Then he looked at Sipak. And then Sifu turned around and that's how we met. So of course we make arrangements to meet again. But we're funny, we run into him, you know. After 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think Sifu felt a little bad for me because I always have to do what he wants and follow him. So I think he make an excuse that he don't feel so good today. If you want to go out, go by yourself, you know. Of course, I took out the, you know, but I have to get a bus. And they have the little jitney buses. And the bus only have the Chinese character.
Oh.
And there's a big depot or all the buses come in. So I have to memorize the character because at night when I come back, the last bus late at night, I don't want to miss because we live in the new territory. New territory called Fanling is where they make the tombstone, the grave caskets.
Oh, wow.
Because Sifu left one day, I'm on my way back that night. I take the bus. I see the sign. Asuk, he's the bus driver. I call him Uncle. Asuk, Fanling. In other words, Sifu left. He said, I told the bus driver, go to hell. Because that's where they make the caskets.
Oh, gosh.
But Sifu said, okay, but two places don't go. Number one, don't go to the Kung Fu schools. And number two, don't go to the red light district.
Mm-hmm.
Because he told me they have the red light district. The guy out there call you in, you there, and you go in there. If that girl, she come, if she eat one potato chip, you gotta pay. And if you don't pay, they won't let you out, they beat you up.
Oh, gosh.
Of course, I leave, where I go? Kung Fu school and red light district. See? So I go to Wing Tsun Athletic Association. Of course, this is the headquarters of the headquarters. And who's there? Wang Xianglong. And I have picture because he had no shirt on, and he had the student look like Bruce Lee, have no shirt or have the muscle, you know. And Wang Xianglong's English is not that well, so Chi Sao, of course, I told him I'm a disciple of Sifu Moya, you know. Chi Sao, and their nature is, let's say, in our family, we play with each other. We put the fist there, you acknowledge the fist, but they don't acknowledge it. So I have to hit. So after I hit, plus have no shirt, all you hear is smack, smack, see? And Sipak don't like it. So later he said, come back tonight. All the senior guys there, you know. But now I have to tell Sifu, see? And I went to a red light district. So I go down the steps there, see, I want to see. Oh, I sit there, and here come the girl. She come over, you know. Oh, la la, see, talk. And then I see her reach for the chip. Oh, I gotta go. See? So I left because Sifu already warned me.
Yeah,
when I
smart.
see her go there, then I'll see you. So now I have to tell Sifu I went to there because Wan Shalong told me. So we go back, and that's another story. So that's how it was back in those days.
What is the best advice you have for any young martial artist starting out today?
You know, if you're lucky, you pick a good teacher. That's most of your fate lie in your teacher. Yeah. Because for us, the first obligation to our Sifu was make your Kung Fu good. Of course, how to make your Kung Fu good, you have to take care of your Sifu. So it sounds contradictory, you know. So you have to take care of your Sifu. Because there's most martial artists think it is a transaction. You pay the money, you expect something. No. The money not go to the Sifu. Money go pay the bill. So your job is take care of the Sifu. Funny, you take care of the Sifu, your Kung Fu grow. So that's the best I could say, right? As you grow up in your family, you have to start to help around the house, right? You always don't want to do this, don't want to put the trash out, you know. You make life difficult, it makes stressful, and you don't contribute. So if you have a right manners, have a good parent, you automatically want to do these things. See? So your job is take care of your Sifu, take care of the Mogun, be the best, help you. Then the Kung Fu start to grow. The physicality, you get it. Or you don't. It's not important. Because that's not Kung Fu. Remember, the physical is not Kung Fu. Today, most people don't know what is Kung Fu, even in our own family. Because in those days, the sign read, Moya Wing Chun Kung Fu. Moya Wing Chun Kung Fu. Then I come to realize, Moya is not Moya. Wing Chun is not Kung Fu. And I didn't know what Kung Fu was. And that was the beginning of a new beginning. Because when I realized, you see, John, in those days, most people want to associate themselves with the patriarch Yip Man. Yip Man's association, Yip Man's club. That was the best way to build yourself. So when Sifu came to USA, his commitment to Wing Chun, he could not use his Sifu's name. So it sounds conceited, like Yi's karate. That's Yi's, Or so, but even in our family, Moya Kung Fu is not Moya's version of Wing Chun. It's not Moya's interpretation of Wing Chun. Moya Kung Fu is a treasure, a legacy he left us in realms of the pure transmission of the system. What's it mean, pure? Learn by your own experience. So that's why he have no method. He simply leave you alone to learn. Most of my coaching only came from a question from him. So he never forced his Kung Fu on us, make us look like him. No. So it was a legacy. He used his name as a commitment to the legacy, the treasure in realms of the pure transmission, pure as learned by your own experience. And Wing Chun is, of course, system. See, system different than a style. A style could be said is someone else's experience. So it would take you a long time to capture the essence of what they meant by that experience. Why your hand in this position? In other words, can you find your great-great-grandfather's pipe? Something missing there. Wing Chun based on physics, science. In other words, the shortest distance between 2 points, straight line. So don't waste time trying to find a line shorter than this. But use this to make yourself better. So that's why I call system. So you have to understand the system. This, I have to really, very few people understand system. Very few, even though it's so simple. Because they always try to find something there to make applicable, how to apply. That's why they say, Moya don't teach how to fight. And then, once you get the system, it's a tool, an access to what? Kung Fu. Then what is Kung Fu? I don't know what other people might say, what is a Kung Fu? But I could tell you that is a strategy and intelligence different than ours. Let's say our way, our strategy, our intelligence is called Western way. Specific, Greek. Consider you always have a plan how to go from A to B, whether your will, intellect, or by brute force. That's our way.
If you could spend one day with Yip Man, how would you like to spend it?
Just spend time, waste time. Two different distinctions. So I'm happy you say spend the time. Spend the daily life. Because he's a great Kung Fu guy. So therefore, I'm doing exactly what a great Kung Fu guy does. I see what he sees. I hear, I eat, exactly like a great Kung Fu guy. So, that's the daily life. That's the best. So, the moment my mind want to do something, it's not Kung Fu. That's why my daily life, my moments are long. It's too vague for most people because I choose life moment to moment to moment, the way life is and the way it's not. That's not your way because life's not the way you want it. So we resist life. So if people say, what is Kung Fu? Kung Fu's life. Let life be your teacher. But you resist life because it's not the way you want it. I know we were all raised to come up with a goal, a fantasy, a purpose. And we throw it into the universe. And through something called hard work, attempt to make it come to fruition. That sounds kind of arrogant to me today.
A lot of people have the misconception that your art only uses low kicks. Is that true?
No. But I think even people question our kicks, period. Do you kick? What kind of kick? How you kick? I think, John, the answer to this question is a question. Do you have a need to kick? And if so, then Wing Chun have a place for this. You see, why you lift the foot in the first place? You're only on one foot. That's dangerous. And most people kick with a hope and expectation that the opponent will be where they think they'll be. It's a little more scientific than that, but it's still a commitment without information. And I don't trick my toe, try to kick your head. So why I take the fist, try to punch the toe, is too far away. So when we talk about save time, practical, the real question is, do you have a need to kick? And because 9 times out of 10 in a fight, these are the guys get the job done. But if the circumstance, the condition warrants such a thing, yeah, we have. And yes, generally it's so low because in my mind, it's not a kick. You see, we never commit to anything without information. To commit without information could be dangerous. whether you throw a punch or kick. So 9 times out of 10, if we use the leg, we're already touching you. Therefore, I know my distance. The kick will not miss. So Wing Chun kick is felt, not seen. Therefore, some style call this Mo Yin Gurk. Mo Yin Gurk means invisible kick. He's not invisible in that sense, but it's felt, not seen. And in that strategy, it's low. But what if you fall to the ground, then I kick your head? Is that low? It's relative.
In your art, what type of practices you do for your footwork and also for your foundation as far as your horse stance, your scissor steps?
Scissor steps. So, this is a critical part of any Kung Fu. In Kung Fu, we call this Ma. In Cantonese, Ma means horse. But horse have 4 legs. So why call horse? You only have 2. So where's the other 2? Your opponent. So our first horse is stand this way. We don't have a stance this way. We have stance this way. Why don't have a stance this way? Because that is a transitionary stance. It's not stationary. You don't stand on the corner, wait for a bus, stand this way. This is the ideal way to balance the body. So whenever I have opportunity, we always come back to equilibrium. So in the system, have many areas to develop what we call Ma, the horse. But mostly stand this way. And of course, one of our famous horse we call Hao Ma. Hao Ma means back horse. You sit on the back leg. This is kind of not unique to Wing Chun, but very strong in Wing Chun. Hao Ma, we have a back horse. Of course, everyone know how to use the Hao Ma. But on a higher level of understanding Wing Chun Kung Fu, that's why we say Wing Chun or Wing Chun Kung Fu. Hao Ma have a different interpretation. Transcends the physical. We call this Samfa. In Cantonese, Sam means heart. Fa is method, way of the heart. So Hao Ma from the way of the heart means sometimes life say you can't go forward. You have to take a step back. You step back, you see more. But how about when you know you're right? Can you still step back? This is Hao Ma. And life gives me a lot of opportunity to practice this level of Kung Fu. Of course, if I don't practice, I won't develop this level of my Kung Fu. So, be able to step back when you know you're right. This is Kung Fu. This is Hao Ma. So the horse have a lot of levels of understanding and development, not just physicality.
As far as types of practice, like you just mentioned, is one of the types of practice practicing blindfolded to learn sensitivity?
Yeah, Qi Sao. Qi Sao is one of the major Wing Chun 2-person exercise called Sticking Hands. It's based on integrity. Like sometimes people say, oh, it's off kilter. You heard this term?
Mm-hmm.
Like the washing machine, boom, 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 boom. It's off kilter. You ever think then what is kilter? So what I mean by integrity? It means it's whole and complete. And nothing works without integrity. In other words, the cup won't hold tea without integrity. So rolling hands stay on the center line. But in life, things have a tendency to come off the line. Of course, if things come off the line, you're allowed to punch in. This is very interesting because I just stay on the line. And you come off the line, then you get hit. But funny, I didn't hit you. You let me hit you. And it's a win I cannot take credit for. Would not happen without you. That's the relationship. So, chi sao, sticking hand, is two people fight for the center line. Not fight for the center line. How to step into someone's boundary or not let them step into yours and still look beautiful. This is a chi sao. But have many levels there.
As you look back on your current life as a martial artist, is there anything that you would have done differently?
I look back, I never expect Sifu to pass away at such an early stage of life. I do recall Sifu seemingly always wishing to be have an elder state about him, like a sage. But Sifu passed at 61 years old. So I was with him for 19 years. Having said that, we never know when, tomorrow's not promised. So the only thing I could say is I wish I would have spent more time with my Sifu as much. So this is interesting, in realms of anything else. No, because life was the way life. I don't regret, but the time you can't get back. You have to spend. So I think this is a sentiment everyone would think about on their last breath. Wish to spend more time with family, loved ones, right? Yeah. So that's the same feeling, If I look back, spend more time with my Sifu.
Do you ever find yourself, even like last week or last month, maybe last year, just out of nowhere practicing one of your older arts?
I still play Tai Chi. Yeah, I still play Tai Chi on a different level. I play almost every day. I play Kung Fu every day, but sometimes because one of my older arts was because my part of my nationality, it may be the cultural Filipino in me. My first teacher in the Filipino art was Professor Rime Presas, who considered the modern Arnis. But some time ago, I saw a video of Grandmaster Bobby Tabuada in his style called Balintawak. And let's see, this had to be during the lockdown. And I quickly resonated because I saw a lot of Wing Chun. And so one of my students reached out to Grandmaster and explained, because he's in North Carolina, that her Sifu really wanna learn this, but see, we were still coming out of the lockdown. So he said, no worries, get my video. But because I understand Kung Fu, I understand basics. So I play Balinto Walk every day. I play the Tai Chi. Of course, I play the Wing Chun. Because Kung Fu is Kung Fu. And there's a never ending I play Kung Fu. So I will always play Kung Fu. It's what can preserve my health, my well-being. So today, I just never imagined though that the kid grew up in Southwest Philadelphia would occupy such a position in the martial art world. I never imagined such a thing.
Speaking of position, Sifu, can you do us a favor and can you go over the lineage of the family?
Well, a legend of our Wing Chun is that it was created by a nun, a Buddhist nun, who lived outside the Shaolin Temple, and her name was Mui. Mui was Buddhist nun. Now, why this may resonate to people, because as when you read about Zen, in fact, Grandmaster Moya once said to me, Zen and Wing Chun, exactly the same. Then, of course, I studied Zen. Every book I ever read on Zen always says what it's not. No book ever say what is Zen. Now I tell you what is Zen. Zen is the true result of something. The top answer. In other words, you hungry, you eat. That's Zen. You tired, you sleep. The top answer. So we say Buddhist nun or monk, because those were the people who'd have the time to meditate, think, pray. So that's why I would imagine Mui have no mind. We call Mo Nim Tao. No mind. And what she give us? Siu Nim Tao. Because our mind is always busy, always worried, a lot of anxiety. So she give us Siu Nim Tao. So the mind become small, quiet, thinking. And she give this to Yin Wing Chun. So that's important for us, whether it's legend or not, because now I consider this womanization of martial art. Because you have to learn how to use the yin nature, whether female or not. Because sometimes I have to remind the sisters must also be women, intelligent, because they want to fight like a guy. So, however, we have lineage on the wall. When I first saw this, I don't care much about where it come from, because all I was interested in was the science of it, the shortest distance between 2 points. Then when I started to realize as teacher, past the system, then it became important. Not the lineage, but how they learn their Kung Fu. What were their challenges? And every generation have a challenge. And so the patriarch himself, Yima, remember, had to escape Communist China 1949 and go to Hong Kong under British rule, which was like apartheid. He have another challenge and no money. So the historical place that we could definitively say was we trace back to we call Longzhen. Longzhen was also a natural herbal doctor. So in one funny way, I'm the Longzhen of the family. But we visit Hoksang, where Longzhen's home was, and it looked like a wealthy place. And and so we can trace back to Longzhen. Now remember, Longzhen was Chan Wa Sun Sifu. Chan Wa Sun was Yemen Sifu. Chan Wa Sun have a nickname, Jiao Qinghua, the money changer. So when I first went to Fasan, then I saw where Chan Wa Sun had his shop and where Longzhen had his shop. So, but historically, we could trace back. Before Longzhen, I cannot honestly say because we are from the Red Boat. That's where Long Yi Tai, the Chinese opera, and they were revolutionaries. But we actually go to Fatsan and went to the museum and trying to find exact part on the river where the Red Boat would dock and they would have the opera troupe. And we couldn't find it. And by some chance, we meet someone. Oh, it's right there. We meet someone, the woman. So we do our best as a collegiate study to trace all this. So, but Longzhen is as far back as I could literally trace historically. Chan Wan Sun's house, his gravesite we trace, and then of course I know from my story of my Sifu, the patriarch Yiman, and of course his two sons. And that's as far back. But again, John, when we look at the lineage, it's not just about who was who, but more importantly, how they learned their kung fu. See, that become because how I learned, how the patriarch learned, only a few guys. Actually, I dare to say this, but only Grandmaster Moya learned his kung fu by no method. See, myself learned by a method because remember, I'm in the prison. Mm-hmm. So I have to go to class certain days, certain time. That's my method. If I want to teach, same way. See? So certain brothers, they don't have this, they could afford, or they live at the Mogun, then they could just spend their daily time because Sifu's time is daily. Like, oh, that's what he does. See? Me, I only have to go certain days, certain time. That become method. That's why I shared in the beginning when the patriarch said to Sifu Moya, hey, Moya, when you do lapda, touch here first. That story become method. If I teach, hey, when you do lapda, you have to do this, you forget all. But that story, I never forget. That story. Because just like the ancestors, how you learn? They tell you a story. That story stick with you.
Sifu, for everyone watching this video or listening to it, can you please let us know how they can reach out to you if they would like to be one of your students?
Thank you. We have my family, because of my Kung Fu name, Moi Ba Hiu, which is given to me when I became disciple. The leader of the family now, the Moya family, is Madam Helen Moy, wife of Sifu Moya. This is rare because I don't know any other Grandmasters' wives after they pass away continue to spearhead and represent the Kung Fu family. Wherever we travel, even to Shaolin, we've been to Northern Shaolin Temple, Southern, and she sit at the head of the Qing Tong so elegantly, which is a testament of Grandmaster Moyat's unique way of mobilizing his disciples. So she is the head of our family. And one day she called me, "Hey, Pete, you can't use Sifu's name anymore. Your clan is too big." Because at that time I had 7 branch schools.
Wow.
You have to use your own name. And she authorized me and one other brother, my brother Leo Imamura, because he had a big clan in Brazil. And she requests from a gentleman, Professor Kwok Chinam. Kwok Chinam and Grandmaster Moyat are the 2 artists who carved 51 stones of the whole Wing Chun history on the seals, the chops, approved by the Patriarch Yinma. Kwok Chinam happened to be disciple of Chu Shanchen, but become friends because they both Kung Fu Wing Chun guys and artists. But Kwok Chinam, he has the old style classic literature. He's a professor there. So he was the one who carved my name, as well as my brother Leo, and we have our own pin, our own name. So that's why I become Moy Bahu clan. I want to make clear it's not Moya clan, right? I'm part of that clan, but my own clan because I become my grow. So I have few branch schools. If wish to contact me in Pennsylvania, should go to Sifu J. Hitchman, the Hapro Mogun. If you're on the West Coast, you should seek Sifu Victor Chung in San Francisco at the Cito School. Of course, have Rick Chung in Maryland if you wish to meet someone there. We have Disciple Kings in San Diego if you wish to, if you're in that area. And so in Florida, you want to go to Boca, West Palm, we have Moya family there. For me, 10 years ago, I decided to step back. So I don't teach publicly anymore. It was the direct decision to be more indirect, because if I don't step back, my senior masters won't take their rightful place. So that's why. So today, this stage of life, I only see my disciples. And we are in Chinatown, Monday, Wednesday, Philadelphia, and on Saturdays we are here, what we consider the disciple house. Now, is it possible to meet? Yes. Always someone can invite you into the family. But normally you have to be invited to the family and to see if this is your cup of tea, you match, because this is a different stage now, right? At this stage of physicality. And my youngest is Ethan. Ethan is 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
But Ethan started with me at 6, but he's one of those unique guys, you know. So the oldest, Dr. Laszlo, I would imagine. Dr. Laszlo, he's one of the chief psychiatrists in all of the East Coast. He's profoundly sought after at the University of Pennsylvania. But So I have email, which is Pajil, Pajil at AOL, and can contact me if you choose my cell number 609-254-9160, and then we could have a conversation to see what best we can help you pursue your study and endeavor in Kung Fu.
Grandmaster Pahil, I want to thank you for your time and your consideration in giving us an insight into your amazing world of martial arts. I look forward to sitting down with you again in the future, and I know our viewers can't wait for it either. Thank you, Grandmaster, for
My
your time.
privilege to share the life. Infinite love and gratitude. Thank you.
God bless.